Son, I need to talk to you about something that's pretty important, okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Um, I think you're old enough to understand now that sometimes when you do things, good things or bad things can happen, right?
Mhm.
Good. But one thing that you may not understand, and I had to learn this the hard way, so I'm sharing this with you now because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. All right?
Okay.
Um, when I was younger, I was taught things that I was expected to believe as being the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do, just like I've tried to teach you and your sister. Okay, do you understand what I mean?
Mhm.
Like for example, if you're at a door and somebody wants to get in, you hold the door for them. You like to do that at restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if somebody's hurt, you help them, right?
Yeah.
Or if somebody needs help picking something up and carrying it, you try to help them with that,
Mhm.
right? Okay, good. And I've also taught you things don't that you should not do, like punching somebody in the face. That would be something you wouldn't do, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Now, what I mean by something that I learned, this is because of mistakes I made in my life. See, I got to a certain point in my life where I was feeling lonely, and I had been told that these things wouldn't help, and I had been told that it was not a good idea to do the things that I did, and I don't need to explain what they were, but I did them anyways. And it kind of helped, like for a very short amount of time, but it didn't help for to really fill up my need in my heart, you know. Um, and what I didn't realize was when I did these things that I knew were wrong, um, I started to feel bad about myself.
Okay.
So, if you have you ever done something that made you feel guilty?
Mm, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was doing things that made me feel guilty again and again and again and again. The same thing over and over again. Same result. I kept on doing it. Kind of stupid, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, um, what first happened was is I started to feel uncomfortable with myself. I started to feel bad about myself. And then I started to even hate myself because of these things that I had done that I knew were wrong, that sometimes even hurt other people, not just myself. Um, so I started to hate myself, and I even started to treat myself in a bad way because of that. Now, eventually, I realized what I was doing, and I fixed it. I stopped doing those things that were making me feel bad about myself, making me feel like I was a worthless human being. Okay?
Okay.
Um, but my life would have been a lot happier if I just stuck with what I knew was right and wrong and not done the things I knew were wrong. Do you understand what I mean?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so let me put it to you this way. If those bad things that I had done, okay, if I had decided not to ever do them, I would have been a much happier person. Because I wouldn't have felt bad about myself, I wouldn't have hated myself, and I wouldn't have done things to punish myself for those bad things that I did. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know maybe you're a little bit confused, but I think that you probably will understand over time. But just try to trust that what I'm telling you is important and true. And unless you would like to experience the sadness and anger at myself, the depression even that came as a result of my mistakes, my bad behavior, just don't do things that you know are bad. Because, now, I'm sorry, I should be very careful here. There's a difference between knowing it's bad and believing it's bad. If you know something's bad, that doesn't necessarily mean you believe it's bad. So, like, for example, you know that jaywalking is bad
Yeah.
because you might get hit by a car, but you don't believe that it's a bad thing to do, so it's okay. Unless there's a police officer right there watching you and, am I going to give this boy a scare for jaywalking? On the other hand, you know that killing somebody is bad, and you believe it is bad. Okay? Therefore, the chance of you doing it is very, very small. But it's important to understand the difference. To know something like a law says you can't do this. But that doesn't necessarily make it bad, and it doesn't mean that you're going to agree that it's bad to do it. But when you believe in your heart, oh my gosh, stealing that money is bad. Lying to my friends, that's bad. Hurting people to help myself, that's bad. If you believe that, you will, and you do it after you have come to believe it's bad, you will not be happy with yourself. You will hate yourself. You will even punish yourself. And that is part of the reason that Mama died. Because she had done some things and she had come to feel very bad about herself and was punishing herself. And when she found out she had cancer, she tried to change that, but unfortunately it was too late, as you know. So, I love you. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes as Mama and I. I don't want you to end up being a sad and angry person who has problems because he's doing what he believes and knows is wrong. I want you to grow up to be a happy person who makes good choices and gives love to people. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions, son?
No.
Okay. Hug. Okay. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it.